tragedy of Gen Alpha.
Children across the planet are seemingly becoming obsessed with online content across different platforms, and many parents are fearing that there are dire and long-lasting psychological side effects to this obsession. Teachers across the country have been coming out about this generation and their lack of respect and basic learning skills. And
yo, I'm gonna start off by giving a quick little story, okay? So it was my birthday a few weeks ago. I turned 20, and I was out at a hibachi restaurant with my family. We were getting dinner. It was very nice, good food, great time. I love just being around the family. And I noticed that the table behind us was a party of probably 10 people, and there was about 6 children and 4 adults. The 6 children were sitting in like a circle, all of them on their own iPads. I shit you not. I couldn't see all the iPads, but the one that I could see, because the iPad was like this, and I would like turn around and I saw him. He was watching YouTube Shorts. The top video with something and the bottom video of the car, and it's just like so cooked. It's so sad. Like, you're at a nice restaurant, and I know they're, you know, they're kids or whatever, but you know, these kids were probably 10, 11 years old, not talking to each other, you know, not talking to their parents, not even eating, which, by the way, I mean, I know these kids don't have an appreciation for high quality food, but this is a nice restaurant, right? They're not touching the food. They're not talking to the parents, the friends. They're not even like sitting in silence or whatever. Literally on their iPads, just scrolling YouTube Shorts. And I was just so disheartened, man. Like, cause we talk about this stuff on the channel as if it's just like a thing. It's like a vague concept that sort of just exists as this abstraction, this sort of like idea of where we are as a society, you know? It's like a figment. But when you go out and you can literally witness it, you can see children in society. Because I view people not as individuals, but as puzzle pieces. Everyone's kind of a part of something bigger. A family, a state, a town, a country, a school. And I think it is kind of foolish to just view people as just individuals. So we're just our own people. Like, you're part of something, a country, a family, whatever, a friend group. And so I see these individual puzzle pieces, you know, even if they are younger, early teens, maybe 11, 12, 10 years old, and they're just like totally directionless. They're aimless, literally just zombified, scrolling like NPCs. And I just wanted to go there to that table and start up a conversation with them. Now, obviously I didn't, because, you know, it's not really my job, you know, it's the parents' children, and it's the parents that screwed the pooch here because their kids are fucked. But yeah, that's the reality of it, man. Gen Alpha is actually screwed. And, you know, I don't say that to be nihilistic, but I say that just so like people know. So there's this sort of ubiquity with this problem that it becomes ubiquity, meaning it's very common. So there's this ubiquity with this issue to the point where it becomes like a joke. It's like a joke. Like, oh, the Subway Surfers thing is a joke. Oh, I need Subway Surfers while I'm at dinner with my family to focus. Or I need a car rolling down the hill on the top of whatever movie I'm watching. Or I need to be scrolling constantly. It's so common that it almost becomes a joke, or we're desensitized to it. So I don't bring this up. I don't say Gen Alpha is doomed to, you know, be nihilistic, but I say it to genuinely make people aware of the fact that it's like, it isn't really a joke. Sure, you can laugh at it. Like, it can be joked about, but it is a real problem. Like, it isn't just something that's like funny and there's no deeper concern there. Like, there is a deeper concern there. So that's that. W rant. That was a good rant.
have been seemingly perplexed as to why their kids don't listen to them or act
Oh
like
my
normal
God.
children have in the past, and many are directly blaming online media. That's why today we're going to be looking in and
This is the lanky
examining
box
the
effect.
tragedy of Generation Alpha. An online video series has been
Someone
cited
said
as
W ubiquity.
inducing weird effects on the children who watch it. This series is a strange, animated war epic by the name of Skibidi Toilet. Parents have been increasingly worried about the series of videos and the way that their children act after consuming it, with the novel sensation being coined Skibidi Toilet Syndrome. It's no secret that Generation Alpha is exposed to intense amounts of harmful content on the internet, whether that be
Oh
through
my
YouTube,
God, this is the
TikTok, or
worst.
YouTube Kids. Things like the Elsa Gate controversy come to mind,
That
a
was
phenomenon
bad.
of incredibly harmful and inappropriate videos on YouTube using popular cartoon characters to portray increasingly perverted and degenerate actions. Initially, these
You
videos
see, this is obviously worse than Skibidi Toilet Syndrome, but this was like a literal bug in YouTube. Like, this was, this content, I think, got investigated, and because of the Elsa Gate thing, that's why YouTube I believe they had to enforce the COPPA Act, which was that you had to start marking kids' content as it being for kids. You know what I mean? If any of you guys were around for ElsaGate, you know what I'm talking about. But PAPA, Child Online Protection Parent Act. Well, I don't know. But because of this, they literally introduced like legislation into YouTube that made it so that this couldn't happen again. But with Skibbity Toilet, like it's just brain rot, and they're not doing anything about it. Now, not that they like should, because it doesn't violate the terms of service, and it's not like evil content. Whereas the ElsaGate stuff was like evil. It was like sexual and predatory. But to say that it's not doing anything bad to the minds of the young is it's foolish, you know?
It's usually featured live-action actors in cheap costumes of Spider-Man and Elsa, but after word spread of its influence, YouTube took action and removed most channels involved. This controversy would mark the first real time that people started to realize the content.
That channel who does the Skibbity Toilet stuff, the Da Fuck Boom guy with 30 million subs, he's not going anywhere. He's probably on a yacht somewhere getting a deep tissue back massage while his brain conjures up Skibbity Toilet episode 40, series finale, you know? He's still on his grind. He's still gonna be making content, whereas the ElsaGate people, they're all banned and they're homeless, so.
On YouTube might be harmful to young audiences. ElsaGate has made a return in recent years, and is still out there and affecting young audiences to this
Yeah, but that has 60 viewers.
day. For the worse.
Oh, I guess this sort of stuff, like the plush universe. There was, I guess, a sort of second wave of ElsaGate with the plush universe stuff, but it wasn't, I'd say, as bad, I feel like. And I covered that too, so.
Modern incarnation of ElsaGate is less about Spider-Man and Elsa, but more about modern internet trend characters, including a certain source filmmaker head sticking out of a toilet. From there, attempts have been made to get rid of this content, with it only really helping in a mild way at the end of the day. However, a new threat allegedly rose in these times, that being Skibbity Toilet Syndrome. Parents across the world started
I can't believe my eyes. Oh my god. Jesus. The kids are becoming Skibbity. This video is fucking insane.
across the internet, more and more videos popped up of children seemingly entranced by this seeking.
What the
Through this, mass concern started to spread among parents.
This is
Mainly in
fucking
Indonesia.
cancer.
Soon, TikTok started popping up, warning Indonesian parents about the dangers of Skibbity Toilet. Concern was spread farther and farther. Then on July 11th, 2023, an Indonesian YouTuber by the name of ValeXD Official created a video where he reacted to kids pretending to be Skibbity Toilets. In this video, he officially coined the term Skibbity Toilet Syndrome. This original video has since been
What the?
So how did it reach the United States? Well, Skibbity Toilet isn't only popular overseas. The series is famous
It's
worldwide, but
global!
especially here in the USA. Given the way that the internet works,
Skibbity Toilet is a global sensation. Everyone's done. This is worse than COVID. We need Skibbity Toilet vaccines, okay? Or at least that would be the logic, right? Because COVID was so bad, we needed vaccines. This is worse. So, you know, Dr. Fauci or whatever that dude's name, you need to get on this. Look into this, because there's a new pandemic, okay? Now, honestly, if this goes untested or, you know, unresolved, I would go as far to say this is a plandemic, because ignorance is bliss, right? Or I'd say, what do they say? Don't attribute to malice what can be attributed to ignorance. But there's no way people don't know about this. You don't think Fauci knows about Skibbity Toilet at this point? It's malice. There's a reason they're not doing anything about it.
videos started popping up of American
This is like real, by the way. Skibbity Toilet Syndrome is real.
children seemingly affected by the disorder.
This is so sad. My loving Skibbity kid. I can't take it anymore. My loving Skibbity kid is so excited to watch the new Skibbity episode. This is horrible. This is so bad. This is way worse than the Hassan video. This is blowing my mind.
I'm enraged upon viewing this content, leading to some pretty horrendous comments across the internet. Video of these kids spread from Facebook to TikTok to YouTube Shorts, and of course, the dreaded Instagram Reels. From there, Skibbity Toilet Syndrome has become a commonly used phrase among the internet. But is any of this actually real? Should you be worried for those kids, or is it not a big deal? Well, the answer may shock you. Lots of
probably
content that
won't be
children consume on
shocked.
YouTube is inherently harmful to their development and attention spans.
Real?
That is no secret. But is Skibbity Toilet an example of that? Well, honestly, not really. The Gen Z detractors use the term brain rot to describe what was happening to these children.
I
But
do use
is it
that
all
term.
brain rot? Well, let's look into the definition of the term. To quote Urban Dictionary, brain rot is a word that some might use when referring to constantly thinking about a topic, person or place or thing. It's a spoof word that's relatively close to the definition of a hyperfixation. Both words stand for the same meaning. However, brain rot isn't meant to be taken as literally. There aren't any brains rotting here. What is cited as skibbity brain rot is the song and the act of pretending to be a toilet, which is something that people are genuinely really concerned about.
That is brain rot if you ask me, though. You know, like the hyperfixation on skibbity toilet is kind of what's happening, so I think it is brain rot. Right? I mean, he's going on to say that that's not what's happening, but he explains what's happening and then explains the definition, says it's not what's happening, but it like is, as he just explained. So maybe I misheard him, but I feel like I'm a little confused.
However, if you look at it with a critical eye, it all starts to kind of fall apart. What is seen as skibbity toilet syndrome is just children playing. That's literally it. Kids like to pretend to be things that they watch. It's really as simple as that. However,
I kind of agree, kind of disagree, and I'll explain why. I used to watch Thomas the Tank Engine when I was little. Never once did I try to pretend to become a train or roleplay as a train or hyperfixate on like literal trains. I got little train toys that I played with and that was cool, but this to me, I'm sorry, and maybe I am wrong, and I'd love to be wrong. This is different. This is not skibbity toilet. This is cool. Like this is kids riding in boxes and playing with boxes. But the skibbity toilet thing is I feel like that's a little different, you know?
What about these videos of kids having tantrums when the thought of skibbity toilet being taken away is brought up? Videos like these have been shown as an example as to how bad skibbity toilet is for the minds of children.
Watch my cousin throw his biggest tantrum after I take his iPad away. Wow.
But let's look into it a little deeper. Well, yes, upon initially viewing a video like this, it can be very shocking and mildly
the guy
disturbing.
In the video? Okay.
However, you must realize that videos
smoke.
like this, 9 times out of 10, are an older brother or parent telling the kid, be crazy and talk about skibbity toilet, which then leads to the videos that you see. So to be clear, skibbity toilet syndrome is not a real thing, and children's minds aren't being hijacked by the silly source filmmaker video. But does that mean that little kids should be watching skibbity toilet?
Let me just see. Is he right? How many dislikes does this have? I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I mean, it's probably not as like a huge deal. I think it's more about the iPads than anything. I don't know if it's skibbity toilet specific, but it's more about the iPad overall attention span sort of commentary that you're hearing now.
Absolutely not. As stated earlier, Skibbity Toilet is a very violent series, and it isn't anything but entertainment to the child. Nothing educational or moral is involved. And honestly,
okay, I'm gonna try that again. Before he says anything, I would say that's bad, because when you're growing up, when I was watching Nickelodeon Junior and Disney Junior and wherever Thomas the Tank Engine was playing, there are themes in those shows. There are characters, there's character development, there's like things to learn and take away. And there isn't any of that, like at all. So, I don't know, contrast that.
It's kind of concerning. Some of the kids who are big fans of the series are really young and shouldn't be watching such violent content, since it's simply not good for them. But they could be watching worse things. I want to speak to any parents or older siblings in the audience who have little kids in their lives that use YouTube. Most content made and targeted towards young children on this platform is genuinely very harmful and horrible content. Even ignoring things like Elsa.
Yo, what the fuck? Oh, nah, this is fetish content.
This platform is genuinely very harmful and horrible content. Even ignoring things like Elsagate, individual YouTubers like LankyBox and all their copycats are harmful for children.
LankyBox, you suck!
Like. Maybe you see it from the corner of your kid's iPad, but you never really look much deeper since you see that it looks family friendly enough.
I own you, little bro.
This is what kids are watching.
Today we are going to escape the backroom. This is a crazy backrooms game where we explore the. Get ready to watch the best amazing digital circus YouTube shorts ever. You will see crazy transformations, super funny memes, skibbity. Like and subscribe or LankyBox will fry.
Watch this. I am Skibbity Riz.
Oh my god.
Skibbity Riz on Adam to ruin his day.
Lobotomy. It's time for my lobotomy.
Go out. What do you say?
LankyBox is killing the bitrate. Is that true? Did it clap my bitrate?
This is crazy. Foxy.
I gotta get some water, bro. That may be the worst thing I've ever seen. That's actually so bad. All right, I'm back.
I can't watch something like this for more than like 20 seconds without feeling exhausted and overwhelmed. Imagine being a young child with an incredibly young, naive, and malleable mind. You spend hours a day watching this overstimulating, substanceless content, and eventually, that sets up your expectations for entertainment. Suddenly, playing with toys and using your imagination doesn't give you that same amount of fun that watching the funny purple hair man on the iPad does. Traditional children's media is incredibly slow and boring because it's nowhere near as fast-paced and over-edited as these YouTubers, leading to what essentially turns into an addiction. Adults and teens often have bad impulse control and easily given to instant gratification, even with the knowledge that it's bad for you. I'm guilty of it. I think literally everybody in the age range of millennial to Gen Alpha is. However, it's more of a matter of how we can manage the impulse and keep your consumption of whatever
that's the thing is, kids don't have that. They don't have impulse control. That's why if you tell a kid that you'll give him $20 to poop on the sidewalk, he just does it. Or in this case, well, they have no perception of the value of currency, so you'd have to quantify it in like skibbity hours. So if you say, hey, I'll give you 10 hours of skibbity iPad time if you poop on the side of the road, they'll do it. They have no impulse control. They have no like frontal lobe development. So they literally will just sit there, zombified, being fed slop until they pass out because it stimulates them, you know? It's just blue light lobotomy, bro.
However, children do not have the skill of moderation. They're simply not developed enough. This is why these channels exist.
Bingo.
They exist to capitalize on the fact that children don't really have a choice and can be very easily persuaded to watch whatever it is these YouTubers
It's kind
want
of
them
fucked
to
up.
watch,
Like,
if their titles and thumbnails are clickable enough. I grew up using YouTube, and if you're familiar with my content, then you'll know that that is very, very clear. I saw a lot of horrible content growing up. Really, really nasty and scary things that no kid should have seen. But many others happen to experience the exact same things. I've been lucky enough to make a career out of my experience with that sort of content here on YouTube. So I'm very thankful that I did watch what I watched. However, early Gen Z kids grew up watching the early days of YouTube, which is completely different from the slot that Gen Alpha
wait, is the bitrate like fucked? That should fix
exposed
it.
to on a daily basis. YouTube was just fundamentally a different website, with the way that profit was managed. There wasn't much of a profit incentive. We had creepy art projects, weird commercials, scary animations, and of course, piles and piles of weird fetish content all over the platform. However, that content wasn't being pushed on us or marketed towards us. Most videos made for kids were made by kids or by kids' parents. EvanTube HD comes to mind. But comparing the pace of these old kid-friendly videos to new ones shows a stark difference in almost every single aspect. The editing, pace, sound, performance, all of it was much slower and more traditional back in the day, and provided wholesome fun. Were we learning anything when watching EvanTube look at clay Angry Birds?
No.
Well, no. But it wasn't harmful to our brains. A classic trope of early YouTube clickbait was bright colors in the thumbnails, and I'll admit, this worked on me as a kid. I remember clicking on some Shane Dawson videos with bright-ass thumbnails and wacky colors, only to watch 5 seconds then click off since I just didn't like him. I bring this up not to say that we had it so much better, and that we never had stupid brain rot content, but more so to make the point that we weren't being completely actively targeted and taken advantage of by greedy people with low moral compasses. People in my generation look at Skibbity Toilet and say that this generation is rude. Gen Alpha's doomed. There's nothing we can do to save them because they watch a silly source filmmaker video
Obviously,
series.
they can be saved.
I've seen this viewpoint all over the internet, and each time it just doesn't
Was that me? Oh, I thought that was me.
make sense to me. For the people who hold this viewpoint, look back at what we grew up with. It was the same shit, if not even worse than Skibbity Toilet. Like, you're trying to tell me you didn't grow up with mindless source filmmaker animations, right?
Yeah, I've heard this argument before.
Stupid catchphrase memes, absolute brain rot songs that we would sing with our friends. It's the exact same thing as Skibbity Toilet. When me and my friends were little, we would sing stupid songs like What Does the Fox Say, Gangnam Style, all those different Minecraft songs.
I will say though, What Does the Fox Say like actually has lyrics. Skibbity Toilet is like skibbity da 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 da. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's a little worse. Anyway,
Song parodies. You name it. Sure, it was stupid. Sure, it was brainless, but it was harmless fun. And it's the exact same thing as kids playing in laundry baskets and singing a goofy gibberish song with their friends.
no, because this is worse because I said so. Okay, this is worse because it's skibbity, and I hate it, and it sucks. Okay.
Regardless, we weren't really any different from the kids of this generation. When I see like 17-year-olds in my generation complaining about how kids like Skibbity Toilet and how much better
You guys hear this background song? I just wanna be your sweetheart. He better play it.
our videos were when we grew up, it really makes me see that we're going down the same path as boomers and millennials. If you look at the way that there's this
Yo, I gotta hear that song right now, bro. That song is kind of stuck in my head. Yo! LKR with the $20. Go to sleep now. And just for that, I'm feeling a little Sigma. I have good ideas. What can I say?
Manufactured war on millennials being cringe towards Gen Z and how gutturally out of touch and cringe these people
So uncomfortable.
are, who, to be clear, aren't even that much older than some Gen Z people, just proves to me that we're next. We're gonna be the cringe millennials to these new kids. And I just feel like, aren't we better than this? Now, for those who say that Gen Alpha kids are doomed, they aren't actually completely.
Here's what I'm thinking. When the Gen Alphas eventually break out of their skibbity era, I will hopefully accumulate some of them as fans. Like, I'll absorb them into my fan base. And I'll act like I never talked shit about skibbity. It'll be fantastic. It'll be like, I'm like a double agent, you know? Like how Hassan pretends that he's a socialist, you know? It'll be great. I'll pretend like I never hated on skibbity toilet. Like, just like how Hassan pretended how Hassan said earlier in his career he loved America when he lived in Turkey and now he hates it. I'm gonna do the opposite. I'm gonna hate on skibbity now and pretend I love it in the future.
Obviously, let's be clear what we're talking about here. When referring to Gen Alpha, I don't mean every single kid in the generation. Not at all. However, we're looking at the whole of things,
I profile
using
them.
mostly anecdotal evidence.
Get profiled, little bro.
This is because there hasn't really been enough research done, given how young these kids are and how novel a phenomenon this whole thing is. Parents have reported on social media that their children are progressively getting worse and worse attention spans. This also seemingly is reflected in ADHD diagnosis being at an all-time high. However, it's believed that a lot of people don't actually suffer from ADHD on a neurological level, but instead, these symptoms of attention deficiency are a product of the media that they consume online and how social media hacks your dopamine receptors. Of course, the counter-argument provided is that we have better means of diagnosis now. We've made huge improvements in being able to find ADHD in people who otherwise wouldn't have gotten a diagnosis in the past. I'm no medical professional, clearly, so I can't really
Yapping moment. Let's keep it that way, okay? You're not the professional. Leave it to this guy, please. I'll be the armchair psychologist here, okay? Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. No need to backseat diagnose. I am the captain, all right? Let me do my thing, Shut your mouth, little bro. Bro is a whole 2.9 out of 10 looks-wise trying to thirst trap to a live chat full of 12-year-olds. No thirst has ever been trapped. Bro just dehydrated 280 people simultaneously. Wow. Fuck you. Dude, you killed me. I'm not even gonna lie. That was fucking kind of good, actually. If this was like at middle school playground recess, I don't know if I'd have a comeback, actually. That was like, I almost want to give you mod for how like good that was. Like that was like impressive almost. Like you kind of earned my respect in a way. I do this shit professionally. Dylan, you have 20 seconds to write the most hurtful paragraph to me. Timer starts now. Give him mod. Now, I don't know if I'm gonna give him mod, but that was fucking crazy. That was a crazy paragraph. Like, that was a great roast. That was good. All right, Dylan, your time is out. Your time is up, bro. We gotta see it now. Now, let's go. Let's go. Let's go, 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 go. Your time is up, my friend. Dylan, go. You're getting points deducted by the second. Now, if you send it, it's not even worth half credit, dude. You're turning in the assignment 2 weeks late. I was peeing. Shut the fuck up. No, you weren't. All right, check this out. The only one ever made. Does it have a hole? Yeah, you're banned, actually, I think. All right, here we go. Dylan has his roast. Acheeto looks like the kind of dude that puts one leg up when he kisses his husband. I know what he's talking about. He's fuck you. Bro closes the fridge door with his hip and he be texting the GC laying belly down, feet up. Bro has a bowl cut in 2024. Not your best material. I'll tell you, you started off strong. The one leg up while I kiss my husband, that's funny because that's gay. That's funny. The fridge with the hips, decent. Does not follow up with the same strength as the first one. Last one wasn't as good because that's overusing. The bowl cut, I don't have a bowl cut. I have a swoop. So that's just inaccurate. I'll give that one a 6 out of 10.
However, parents are concerned and worried about what's going on with their children, because not only are the 4 to 9-year-olds being targeted by this type of content, the babies and toddlers aren't safe either.
A brave and beautiful trans woman has taken
What the
gold
fuck?
in the female competition,
What the fuck is this?
winning in every single event by wide margins.
That's right, Drake. And WIAW's own.
Wait,
One
what?
Wild is-
Why does that sound like Brett Cooper? Yo, does anyone know what this is? Lady Bowlers? Is this like a trans, grown-ups movie or something? What the fuck is this? They're making jokes about the trans. Yeah, I know what it is, but I just didn't, I know what they're doing, but I didn't know what this was. Oh, Dylan says, Acheeto the type of dude to transition so he can compete in women's track and field and then end up placing 11th out of 8 in every event. You lost it, bro. That was, not your best. Go watch The Tragedy of Gen Alpha by Raymundo 2112. There's another 15 minutes left. You want to go watch for yourself.